You're here on Eat, Stay, Play for a tour of a biodynamic winery. Today we're in Magri sulla Strada del Vino, an area of Tyrol that is known for its winemaking. Our tour guide today is Sara, who speaks Italian, German, and English. And Maximilian, our former exchange student, his girlfriend Michelle, and his parents Eva and Armin are the ones who have introduced us to this amazing place. In the heart of the wine village of Magritte, on the wine route, with the historic walls of a Renaissance palace and the massive Dolomite rock faces behind it, sits Paradise, a winery and restaurant complex by Alois Lageder. Our tour will begin with a walk through the woodland gardens and an introduction from Sara about what biodynamic wineries are doing.
Biodynamic culture? No. Well, it has been adapted on the lecture of Rudolf Steiner in 1924.
And this philosophy of using the natural elements translates even to the weather and depends largely on the lunar cycles.
The colder winds from the other side of the mountain are falling down. So there's a thermic inversion, which is very good for the grapes because it's useful for the photosynthesis to develop sugar, and the acidity is remaining in the grapes. And this is very important for us because we need the crispness, we need wines with high acidity. That's our style, our house style. Lean in alcohol, high in acidity, but nevertheless very balanced wines.
Biodynamics sees the farm as an organism, and it focuses on the natural cycle, meaning that the interaction and interplay between soil, plants, animals, and humans are all accounted for. And in biodynamic agriculture, they want to promote the fertility of the soil, build up biodiversity in the vineyard, and strengthen nature in the long term. So this is a process. This is not a technique or even a product. Experimentation with biodynamics began in the 1990s in the vineyards, and it led to a significant transition in 2004 when the family began the shift to a completely biodynamic agriculture. And 4 years later, in 2008, their winery introduced its first biodynamically certified wines to the market. And since then, as of 2024, the vintage and all of its approximately 60 vintner partners are all working according to organic or biodynamic methods. It's taken 13 years of motivation and encouragement, but it seems they have reached some pretty incredible winemaking milestones. Their approach to the Phylloxera insect, which is a pest to grapevines and killed out French vineyards, is a good example of how they're managing biodiversity.
Is the American rootstock is used to Phylloxera. We use the American rootstock, and then we put the Vitis vinifera on the American rootstock. So this is really brilliant.
Continuing that philosophy of working with nature rather than against nature, there is a belief that all things work together.
It's called agro-silvo-pastoral system. Agro is the agriculture, silvo is the trees, and pastoral, it's meaning that the oxen are coming here.
We saw oxen in the vineyards, we found vegetables by the garden, and birds were actually encouraged through the use of trees and other plants, and we found corn being dried on the vineyard porches.
The winery actually runs a cooperative with multiple agriculturalists around who will grow grapes. And instead of them just having the quality of their grapes graded and that determines how much money they're going to get, they're actually being graded, and their percentage is being determined by the procedures and the measures they take in order to ensure that they are working in this biodynamic atmosphere.
Planted in 1601, this grapevine is the center of the winery. It grows blue table grapes and continuously replaces its dying parts with new growth, and has been doing so for over 400 years, and speaks to both the history and the legacy of this beautiful area. That's where and how the grapes are grown. Now let's see how the wine is made. This is very much a working winery, and at every step we saw processing happening. The beginning of the process begins outside in this courtyard. There is a huge vat, and all of the grapes will be placed in here. Gravity will take them down these tubes 70 meters below sea level. And in the bowels of this cave-like area, it is actually built into the rock. Sara likes to say that the winery kisses the rock, but they are using that insulation from that cool rock to keep this room temperature controlled.
So when it come here, it's pressed, and then you see the pipes. You see there are our large stainless steel tanks. So it goes wherever it has to go. Purification tower, and from here it goes to the levels the wine needs to be, or to mature or to ferment. So we pump them as a liquid, it's no problem, but we don't pump solid berries.
In keeping with his philosophy of working with nature, that when built, they were the largest privately owned solar power producer. So we started at the bottom of the winery and moved our way up, and each floor has a different function. And these pipes will transfer the liquid between the floors via pumps. Stems, seeds, and skins are all extracted early in the process so that only liquid is being pumped through these pipes. These lower floors facilitate fermentation and aging in oak and or stainless steel barrels. And back upstairs at the top is the bottling facility where they can bottle 4,000 bottles an hour. The system is largely automated but does need to be changed as different labels change. So we'll have to stop, reset the label, and restart again. In this part of the cellar where the wine is aging, there is a lullaby playing. It is Bach's 6th concerto, but it is on delay so that 1 minute of music is actually stretched to be 1 hour, and it is meant to harmonize the wine as it ages.
Yes, and this is a component for the Borer. We have 3 lines. We have the classical varietal lines, then we have the components, and we have the cruise. The Borer is different components. One component is the whole cluster vinification, one component directly pressed, one component maceration of the skins, maybe for 15 hours, and then we have different components coming from different sizes of wood. Matured in woods. So it's not only stainless steel and it's not only pressed for this wine.
The magic of chemistry and winemaking is visible in watching these tank top glasses as they bubble. At the end of this tour, we walked back over to the winery's more public entertaining spaces where they have a tasting room as well as a restaurant. In the tasting room, we tasted 5 different wines and had a magnificent experience. Join us on Brews and Views and see what we fell in love with.